Good morning. It's me, Radical Faith Delusion Dispeller. I'm trying to talk quiet because husband's still asleep. I just wanted to come to you with, as I said in the title, a sobering thought. Okay, so, and why I can go on, or how I can go on. Most of you know that recently, a bunch of stuff went down on here, obviously, right? Things that were supposedly meant to expose me for who I was and whatever. And yeah, I'm gonna mention names right now, not because I want any fallout or lashback or whatever, but basically because I'm at the point now where I'm just gonna be real. And here's what life boils down to, and this is all religion and beliefs and spirituality aside, okay? At some point, we all will close our eyes and it will be lights out permanently. We won't be on this planet anymore. Whether you believe in an eternity after this or not, I believe there will be one. But even if there isn't, the point is everything will end. It'll be over. None of this stuff will matter. At that point, the earth and everything that anybody does to you is immaterial. So when you think of life like that, and you consider the fact that one day this is all over, like I said, everything here becomes immaterial. And all the gripers, the Pandoras, um, all of the people that persecuted you, that treated you right sometimes, treated you bad other times, all of those people don't exist anymore in your world. Good morning, Angela. Good morning. And YouTube doesn't exist anymore. Nothing on this earth will exist anymore. There won't be any more COVID. There won't be any more Chris Watts. There won't be any more delusion dispeller or delusional or any of that. None of that matters. The fact is, people, it says in the, I said I'm going to leave religion out, but I am going to say this one verse. It says in the Bible, don't be afraid of man who can kill the flesh, but be afraid of the one who can destroy both body and soul in hell. So honestly, that's my biggest fear. I mean, yeah, the thought of somebody coming and harming me in some way is scary. Of course, I'm human, and that would bother me. But the thought of what went on YouTube doesn't destroy me. It doesn't stop me. It's not going to stop me because none of that matters. It really doesn't. I've sat and watched stuff on YouTube since 2008 go from good to bad to worse back to bad again. And now I don't know if I'd say it's the worst. It's probably not the worst it's ever been, as weird as that sounds. I think it could get a lot worse. But basically, YouTube is a lawless place for the most part. You can report people. People have reported me, I'm sure, many times. And YouTube does nothing about it. YouTube, I don't think, even investigates what's going on. Because I think it's about the algorithm and I think it's about money. And it's about what makes their platform popular. And if drama is going to sell, just like sex sells, they're going to just let it happen. They're not going to do anything. So you're basically, what do they call it, a sitting duck or something? I don't know. You have no leg to stand on. They don't care. They don't care. And people that are evil-hearted are going to keep doing evil. It's in them to do evil. That's just all there is to it. And you're not going to stop them. So at some point, I sat down and realized that none of this matters. It really doesn't. Even the real world, in a sense, doesn't matter. If you're an atheist or an agnostic, or you don't believe in an eternity, you just live for the day. You live for the excitement. You live for the pleasures. And then it all ends. If you're a Christian or a Bible person, you live until, as they say, the roll is called up yonder, and hopefully you'll be there. And there's just nothing that really matters, other than eternity, because that's what you're looking forward to. We're supposed to just keep forgetting what is in the past and pressing on toward the mark of the high calling, which is God in Christ Jesus, or Yahweh. So, in the grand scheme of things, whether you guys sit and mock me or keep bringing up my name, delusional this, delusional that, delusional did this and that, and blah, 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 none of that matters. It doesn't matter that my husband, who was sleeping in the other bed, or in the other room, sorry, does not really want me on YouTube. He doesn't. He doesn't want me talking to any of y'all or about anything. He prefers YouTube could just disappear and disintegrate and go away. But I believe that YouTube is part of my calling. It's just where, thank you, Angela. It's just where God has me for whatever period of time. And so far, he has not closed that door completely, so I keep coming back. That's why I come back. And because, frankly, I have nothing to hide, and I have nothing to be ashamed of. I haven't done anything out of the ordinary that's extremely wrong. The stuff you heard, whether you want to believe it or not, was a lot of embellishments from people in chat that got a good story and decided they had to contribute. But it wasn't true. I'm not saying it wasn't based on some kind of facts. Because, yeah, there were facts there. There were facts. Yes, I had clients in the past. Yes, there were times I could not answer their questions and I could not help them. And I referred them elsewhere. That part is true. Yes, there was a situation in which my ex-husband did something absolutely unspeakable and awful. And I didn't know that he was doing it half the time. And then when I found out he was doing it, I divorced him. That's the truth. When it was happening, I heard clearly from one person that it happened to that they didn't tell me about it. And I remember very clearly a walk that I took with that person in which they refused to tell me why they were upset. I was not then where I am now in maturity, not at all. I didn't know how to handle stuff back then. I had 2 marriages that were, to say the least, really rough. The first marriage you already know about, and people are like, well, he is not a narcissist. I'm glad he has you convinced of that. You can see the wonderful man is doing all these wonderful things for me. And yes, he's pretty good as a person. He's a giving person. He'll drop everything and help people. He was programmed by his dad that that's where his worth was, in doing things. So that's what he does. However, you're not there at the family meetings when he brags about what a wonderful ex-husband he is, so that he can get his narcissistic supply off of that. And you wouldn't care. You're going to say, oh, well, there's Dee Dee painting him bad again. Nope, that's just the fact. If you disagree, go marry somebody like him and see how much fun that was. Not saying we didn't have good times. We did in the beginning when the love bombing and stuff was going on. Yeah, there was lots of good times. But after he let his mask down, after he decided what mattered to me didn't matter to him, and never really did, then it was rough. It was very hard. In fact, those were the words of the therapist that saw both of us, was if you stay with him, plan on never realizing your dreams. Plan on never being believed or heard. Plan on living a very fruitless, empty, lonely life. Because he's a narcissist and he doesn't care about anything except himself, and it's doubtful he even cares about that. That's the truth. That has been my life. Right, exactly. Many people have. Some people, the very people that have persecuted me, have been there. But because they heard a little key word that makes everybody go, oh, he's a, and she married that? Oh, wow. Hey, Miller, how are you doing? Good to see you. Um, it's a shocking thing. You say that word and people freak out. Of course, because we want to protect our kids, obviously. I'm the type of mom that said, if that girl picks up a cigarette, you walk on the other side of the street. You don't associate with her. Talk about overprotective. I was extremely overprotective of my kids. I didn't want my children watching certain programs, but guess who let them do it? Their dad, my first ex husband. He didn't have the same value system I did. That's a big reason we clashed. That's a real good reason why you would clash with somebody that's narcissistic, by the way. Okay, so my second ex husband, as I've said many times, learning disabled, early onset dementia. Truth. He's demented now. He has dementia now. He will tell you the craziest stories, and they will sound so believable and yet unbelievable all at the same time. And he's always been that way. Did I know that before I married him? No, I did not. What I saw was a guy that was a little bit slow, but very creative and fantastical. And that appealed to me because I was living in a homeless ladies' shelter with my 10-year-old daughter at the time. And I wanted something exciting in life. And I wanted physical contact back again. And I always believed that that was for marriage only. I still believe that that's the way it should be, but that's not the way it is in the world. Everybody just does it because it's, I love her. I love him. So I'm just going to do whatever feels natural. I did it too. I did it too. We go with our body and stuff. Aw, I hear you. I hear you. Um, and I'll comment on that in a minute. Anyway, but because I did it too does not mean I'm okay with it or that I really ever was. I wasn't. I felt convicted and condemned by myself when I was doing it. Um, I said I would leave religion out of this, and for the most part, I'm not talking about Bible and Jesus and God. It's hard for me to leave him out of things because he's my life. He's the very reason I'm even on this planet. He's the reason I'm still alive. There were many near death experiences I've had that were really rough and probably would have taken my life if they could have. But I'm here because I believe there's a plan for my life, and I'm going to live out that plan until it's lights out for me permanently. And then, like I said, delusion dispeller will be probably not even a word on anybody's lips. Neither will my name or anything about me. I don't leave a huge legacy behind. I'm just on this planet till I pass on, whether into eternity or into ashes. I don't know. But because we don't know till we get there, essentially we don't. We have our beliefs, we have our faith, but who can prove? Um, so I'm here for now. And if you watch me, you watch me. If you don't, you don't. If you give to me and you donate to me and you're kind to me, I believe somebody will bless you for that. If you're not and you're hateful and you're spiteful and you say mean things and you join with the flogging crowd and the abusers, I believe somebody sees that too. Or maybe they don't. Maybe there is no eternity. Maybe there is no Yahweh, God up above. I won't know till I get there, but I believe there is. And I choose to believe there is. And I talk like I believe there is. Because why not? Why not have morals and values and godly principles to guide you on your way? I've tried it both ways. I prefer to have God in my life. I prefer to believe that He talks to me and guides me. And so far, so good, honestly. Um, Now, I've met my share of narcissists in my life. I can honestly say I've never, ever been put through what I was put through on here recently. Never. And that's because there are people on here that don't believe in an eternity, they don't believe in consequences. And they don't care how they treat you. They don't care that they hurt you. They don't care that you're sitting there wreathing in pain and shock while they rip you apart in front of people and they don't plant ideas. He didn't do that. No. You didn't do that to me. You didn't plant ideas. You just kind of facilitated other people to plant ideas about me. Exaggerations, twistings, and turnings of excitement, because that's what people live for on this crazy place. Is, ooh, what's the latest? What's the gossip of the day? What did she do? What did he do? Guess what? None of that matters. Like I said, in the end, it's lights out. What you do to me now, overall, it doesn't matter. Because here's the truth. In my real life, I have family. I have friends. I don't have a lot of friends. I do have one particular friend that came back into my life, which I prayed about last year, that I could reconnect with friends or establish new friends. And God, Yahweh above, has answered that prayer. And I do have a very good friend. And she probably would come on here and stand up to any one of you for me on my behalf. But she really doesn't want to get involved because it's messy. And guess what? It doesn't matter. YouTube is piddly squat compared to overall life. Good, the bad, the ugly, and all of it, but it's real to me while I'm here now. And then, like I said, lights out one day and all of it ends. YouTube ends, life ends, everything's bye-bye, gone. Like this, for instance, and my cats have taught me this lesson. I have this beautiful Michi cat right here, but she's not going to be here forever. One day, it will be lights out for her, and I'll have to face the fact that my kitty's with me no more. I had to do that with my boy cat, Carmine. He's not around anymore. And it's sad, and it breaks my heart, and I miss him all the time. Every day I miss that cat. That's what matters to me. That's what hurts the most, is that I don't have my boy cat with me. I don't have my brother with me. I don't have my grandma with me. I've lost people. They're gone. They're off the planet, you know. They're not here anymore. But the Groypers, the Belgabs, the Elgabs, the Hellgabs, the Woogabs, and all the Gabs, and the YouTube channels, and the Facebook, and the Pal Talk, and Yahoo, and America Online, they're nothing compared to my reality, really. As I've said before, and it was kind of satirically parodied, I can just hit the X and disappear. I don't exist anymore to you. So none of this matters. It really doesn't. You guys, if you're being attacked by any of the people on here, you know, in verbal battles, or they're opening up a YouTube video against you and acting nice to you 1 minute and the next minute ripping you a new one, brush it off, shake it off. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And you could watch this right now, whoever you are, and oh man, I'm gonna really show her what matters. I'm gonna get on there and really rip her a new one, and I'm gonna go for it. Whatever. I don't have to watch it. Guess what? I learned this new thing. It's called, if you don't know about it, it can't bother you. So get busy, do stuff in your life, and don't even pay attention to the tongues that wag against you, and the backstabbing, and the people you thought were your friends and turn around and stab you in the back. I've had about, wow, close to 100 of you do that to me, actually. I counted. I didn't count exactly, but it's like 50 to 100, I would say, somewhere in that realm. Just sit there and type stuff into text that was unbelievable and really not true. So I started thinking, why am I upset over this? It's not even true. I'm getting upset over lies. I'm letting that get to me. And because at first I was, who wouldn't? I'm human, you know. There are facts and there were lies, and there were more lies than facts. And that's the truth. Missy, I'm going to mention your name because you mentioned mine and you brought yourself to light. Thank you for telling the truth. Thank you for telling the facts. And so far, you're one of the only ones that did completely tell the truth and the facts because you told your story exactly how it happened. You experienced it, and I'm sorry you experienced it. I'm sorry I wasn't there to call the police. I'm sorry I didn't know what happened. I'm sorry I didn't report it. I'm sorry I wasn't the person then that I am now who cared about people and could have done more than I did. I did care about you. I do still care about you. I do. I know you don't believe that probably, and that's okay. I understand why you don't. You've been through horrid stuff, and somebody's word over another word are not going to make a hill of beans of difference to you. They don't to people that are victims of abuse. But I did the best I knew how to do back then. Um, I was brand new at life coaching. And it was epic fail for me because all I got were a bunch of people opening websites against me, hating on me, saying I was a terrible life coach. She has no compassion. She lets her husband listen in on conversations. I didn't let my husband listen in. That was my second husband, by the way. He listened in because he was learning disabled. He didn't know. He thought, oh, she's doing this nice counseling with people. I'm going to join in. I'm a counselor too. He didn't understand. He thought he had some kind of wisdom, and because I married him, I tried to esteem him and I tried to help him feel like he was somebody. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I should have said, oh, well, he's learning disabled. I'll just divorce him. But that's not how I lived my life. I was taught that once you marry somebody, you try to work it out till death do you part. And I tried. I tried twice, and now I'm trying the third time. So it's just what I was taught as a Catholic, as a Christian, as a Messianic Jew. Once you marry somebody, in my beliefs and what I was taught is you try to stay, you try to make it happen. So I did. And I tried to believe him above other people. And that was hard because he was learning disabled because his stories were beyond outlandish and unbelievable. Telling people he worked for the Border Patrol years ago and dragged people to their death. Never happened. Everyone in his family said, no, he just makes up stories. And I'm like, well, what do you, okay, somebody tells you somebody makes up stories, you're thinking, oh, well, they're creative. No, what they were trying to tell me is he's learning disabled. And what they didn't know was he had early onset dementia. So, I didn't know. I never met anybody with dementia. I didn't know what that looked like or sounded like or how it behaved. But he definitely had something going on and it wasn't good. So my second marriage was basically, and I think that's where people got things twisted. My own children did not want to be around him because some of his stories seemed like, God, this guy's creepy. He could really harm our kids or us, and we don't want him around. And I respected that. I would go to family gatherings without him. That was not my current husband. And that's how it was painted that, well, none of her family wants to be around him. No, that wasn't him. That was my ex husband, my second ex. Now, if you think maybe I said that about my current husband, that had nothing to do with his past. They just thought he was kind of odd. And now they're okay with them. We're okay with everybody in my family. Guess what? We have homosexuals that come to our family meetings, even. We do. We have them in the family. And I get along fine with them because guess what? They're people. And that's how I treat people. Does my religion agree with it? No. Romans 1 is clear that homosexuality is wrong, in my opinion, my belief. But would I ever mistreat somebody that was a homosexual? Not on your life. No. Not because, well, you don't have a right to judge. I judge the sin. To me, it's a sin. But do I ever mistreat the person? Never. I love people. For the most part, I love people that are good people, that are kind people. Yeah, if you cuss and if you're vile and, you know, like disgusting with your mouth, that doesn't mean I'm not going to hang with you. My friend cusses. Usually not too much in front of me, but I've had other friends that have cussed in front of me, and I still stayed friends with them. But I don't like it, and I'm very much against it, and I believe the Bible's against it, but I'm not going to say, well, you can't be my friend because you talk foul. I'll tell you I don't like it. And usually, if you are a friend, you'll say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that." That's how it goes in real life. Not on YouTube, but in reality. On here, people just let the bombs fly. You know, they don't care. Ooh, let's say it more because Dee Dee hates it. Let's do it. Juvenile, whatever. Act like children. Act like you're, inconsiderate people if you want. None of this matters. It doesn't matter. I mean, in the long run, it's immaterial because you're going to leave it all behind. YouTube will not exist. Your world will not exist. Your life will not exist. But honestly, for the most part, I've had a pretty good run in this world. Thankfully, I've had more good experiences than ever bad ones. But the bad ones were real bad, real bad. And this past one that just happened with the Griper gang and friends and entourage, this was the worst thing that anybody's ever done to me, honestly, really. Other than like maybe past boyfriends that hurt me or marriages that ended. But those were actually good because I was able to move on. I was able to reclaim a piece of me again. And I could be myself and I could be free again. So that wasn't the worst. People dying, that's the worst. But this was the worst that happened to me personally. Can you imagine watching your friends, 50 to 100 people you thought were friends, they said they were your friends and they'd be with you no matter what, just totally poof, drop off? Like, I don't know, the way I picture it is like, do you ever see those scientific slides with germs and cells and amoebas and stuff like that? And you can watch it under a microscope, and it's like this round thing, and then it's got all these little things hanging off of it, and they just sort of separate like that. I know what I can liken it to. Take a pan, and it's got grease in it. Those of you that eat animals, meat, um, there's grease in it, and you drop a drop of Dawn in, and it just separates. That's what it was like. Just, okay, bye bye you. Okay, you're leaving too. Okay, see ya. So how many friends do I have? Can I count them on a hand or two? Maybe add a third hand in there. Yeah, it's about it. And you know what? The ones that stayed with me are the truest friends that you'd ever meet. Truest, because they didn't care about all the frau de lal being said, and they knew who I really was. And they've watched me over the years, and they're like, she ain't going anywhere. People have tried to pull her down in every which way, in every form. She's not going anywhere, and I'm not. Not until God and YouTube decide, or I decide. And I'm not deciding to right now. I am pulling away because there's nothing on here really pulling me towards it. What pulls me is my job, my children, my husband, my family, real life, singing with my daughter, laughing with my youngest daughter, going to her baptism soon. That's what matters. Finding a church, that matters too. Still working on that one. But when the Bible says, and I'm going to bring the Bible into it now because it's the most apropos here, old things have passed away, behold, new things have come. It's true. When the old things pass away, when people leave you, when things die, when the seed goes into the ground and dies, new things spring up. That's the time I'm in right now, is a time of newness. Because all the groypers on the planet, no matter what you do to me, you can't steal who I am inside. You can't take away all the beautiful things in my life that I've had and all the beautiful things that God has in store for me. You can be ugly and evil, and I'm really honestly not sure how you sleep at night or how your family can handle the idea that you do this to people, unless you're just all like that. I don't know. I don't know your family. But I couldn't live with myself if I was cruel like that to somebody. I couldn't. And the people that came on and said, well, she did this to me and she did that to me. Did they tell you that I tried to apologize and tried to make it right in the only way I knew how? Did they tell you that the very moment I was trying to make it right, they were telling me to be quiet and not make it right? Now, it might not have been making it right in their way, but it was the only way I knew how. Thank you, Mary. And the fact, yeah, you're not supposed to use the registry to harass people. And even if you do a background check, because I've done many of them in the past on many people, boyfriends included, you're supposed to fill out something that says, I agree to not use this against somebody. So that was violated right there, honestly. We live in a democracy, I'm pretty sure, where even if somebody does do something against you, you don't get to retaliate. You're not supposed to live your life that way. Yeah, that's my Michi. She's hungry. That's what she's telling me. She's like, feed me. It's really early. It's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning here. It's kind of too early to eat. Here, Meech. Want some food, Meech? Me? No, she doesn't. No, Ted, you stay sleeping. You can't have that food anyway. You gotta have your special food. She wants to go back out. There you go, girl. She wanted to go out in the cold. I don't know why. It's freezing out there. All right, anyway. But no, you're not supposed to use the registry to harass people. Not at all. Let me see. I gotta put the live chat. Okay, let's see what you said here. San Diego Church of Christ read the Bible 4 times. Baptized in the pool. God does forgive criminals. You're right. Exactly. It does matter. Can't ignore it. Doing it. Well, I don't mean like that, Miller. That I'm ignoring it. How can you ignore it? You warned me. I don't remember you warning me, Miller. I don't remember you talking to me. I know you warned some people on here, but I don't remember you warning me. And if you did, sorry I didn't listen. But even what you're saying to me honestly doesn't matter in the long run of things. All that matters is my faith, my family, reality, my job, the things that keep me going on the planet. That's my point. Let me keep reading these messages if I can. I'm on a phone, so it's hard. Okay, hold on. The messages keep disappearing. Hi, Joan of Arc. Looking for some more material for your channel, are you? Okay, well, you'll find it here, I'm sure. I'm one of the popular people on here, even though I'm notorious by some people. I was told that people were moving on, but yet my name keeps coming up constantly. My online name and my real name, actually, because they can't keep me out of their mouth. They never could. That's how obsession and addiction is. You can't stop thinking about the people. I know. I was obsessed once with a pastor's wife, and not in a disgusting way either, so don't go there. Just really obsessed with thinking I was called to be her partner in life. They call them armor bearers, like her right hand man, the person that kind of held her Bible for her or carried her bag for her, her servant, basically. Because that's what we were taught. There was, like, if there was a minister, they had like a little person that would go around with them, kind of supporting them as their helper. And I thought that was my place, but God didn't tell her that. So it ended up looking like I was absolutely obsessed and addicted to her. And I understand the pull, to think that you are meant to be with somebody, even as a friend, but yet it doesn't work out because it's just not a healthy thing. And then you have to move on. But some people can't. And for a long time, I couldn't, for several years. So I get that feeling. I understand that drive. Doesn't mean it's comfortable to constantly hear your name mentioned by somebody that hurts you. It's not. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter either. So basically, that's what I'm on here to say is it doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. And I'm not going to make it one. I know, Miller, you said we're here to fight the evil on YouTube. Why? Why? You're not going to fight it. There's gripers everywhere. Griper, that's just one man's name, but there's a group of them. It's not just one man. Me standing up to a whole gang of people, they'd destroy me. I know that. That's logical. In real life, if you stand up to a whole gang of people that are out to kill you, you're going to go down. That's just logical. But what you have to know is they can't destroy who you are in here. They can only destroy what they see. They can't destroy what they don't see. They can't have that part of me, like I said. I'm going to try to put this on my computer too so I can see who's saying what, because this phone thing, it's a better reception, I'm sure, but trying to read the comments is nearly impossible. Okay, there we go. Now I can see what everybody's saying. Oh, you don't have a channel? Aren't you the same not Joan of Arc person with a different name? Oh, that's okay, Miller. Thanks for coming in and saying something. I get it. Yeah, I haven't been live in a while. I mean, it was a couple days ago. I only go live a few times because honestly, this live streaming stuff is where all the hurt comes in anyway, where all the people hurt you and lash out at you and bring people into a room to just watch their names type mean, nasty stuff about you, most of which wasn't true. That doesn't usually happen when I do uploads, unless they do it in the comments. And comments, I can just go, oh, delete, report, delete, 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 report, you know. But as it's happening, you could try to do anything to it, but it's not gonna. Everybody else is watching and they can see their comments against you and they jump on the bandwagon. Like, oh yeah, I didn't know that about Dee Dee. Wow, that makes sense because when she said this happened. And when I came to her, she didn't show me any compassion. So it's like a gang mentality. Everybody just gangs up on you at that point. Does he use a voice changer? Yeah, Mary. I don't know if he uses a voice changer. I think he just makes his voice like that. It's not his real voice because he doesn't know it, maybe, but he slips up every now and then, and I hear his real voice. All I can say is he's probably a decent person in real life, maybe to an extent, because, he's got a family. So I imagine he doesn't go around being mean to everybody around him. He just picks people. He thinks he's on a mission. He's got to make things happen and protect the world from bad people like me. Okay, go ahead, whatever. Because, like I said, in the end, it's immaterial. It doesn't matter. So do what you got to do. You're going to do it anyway. So, anyhow, what are you going to do? You can just live your life out on YouTube and not have a life or social media in general. It's not just YouTube, Facebook, TikTok has drama going on. uh, by the way, if I'm buffering, I apologize. Have you? Okay. Well, I don't go on a whole lot of channels, really. Honestly, what I do during my day, I watch diet videos, I watch food videos, I watch videos about animals, I watch Bible videos. I'm not usually on this part of YouTube. I don't sit and watch crime videos, although I still do follow the Chris Watts case in some ways. I really want to hear more stuff come out about the truth of how it all went down because I want people to be held accountable that did it. I'll check it out, Miller. But, I mean, I don't know why people think that YouTube is life. It's not, it may be a part of your life. But there are people that live their lives on here. They're here day and night. I used to be that person. So in a way, and I've said this before, I'm very thankful that everything kind of blew up and kind of redirected me onto a better path. So yeah, Groiper, you kind of did me a favor in a way. You got my eyes focused back on what matters. Reality, like this reality, this present that I'm living in, my family, my marriage, my children. Christmas is coming up. Family gatherings are coming up. You got my mind off of all the drama and the craziness on here. You did me a favor, really. Did you expose me? Well, you exposed the picture you painted of me. You exposed the person you created in people's minds, in a sense. Yeah, I guess you exposed whoever you thought I was. Unfortunately for you, maybe, I'm not that person. Never was. Never did I not care about somebody being harmed. Never would I not care. Heck, if I see something happening when I'm walking down the street, I'm all eyes on it and going over to help if I can. It's the hardest thing for me when I see an accident along the side of the road and I'm told, just keep on driving. We got this. I want to know what happens. I want to make sure that person's okay. I want to pray over that person. That's me, not the person you painted, not the person all of y'all painted that joined in on that little jamboree. I'm not that. And people that know me know that I'm not that. Um, and I can't fault you for joining in on that. That's excitement. Well, I don't care. Listen on. Make your videos later. That's what you'll do. You'll have to have your discussion. You need material. So you have something to talk about. Because I've been in your rooms. They're boring. Sorry, but they are. They don't intrigue me any. They don't interest me in the least. It's just mundane stuff. I don't care about that stuff. Maybe I'm a much more exciting topic. See, to me, if you've cut somebody off, you don't want to talk about them. You're like, oh, I'm done with that person. Dee Dee is gone, history. She's just thinks she's all that and gloating in front of the camera and she's nothing and she did this and that and I can't believe she did this. Then you just stop talking about me if you're not obsessed or addicted or attached in some way. I would be a thing of the past. My name would not be brought up. What I did would not matter. But it does. It matters in a large way. Now, I'm not saying, I have to say, you've gotten better. Not every live stream has my name in it, but pretty much I get brought up somehow, put in there and injected. Oh, yes, well, Dee Dee did a video on that. Did you see what Dee Dee talked about? Did you see her video? Did you see that? Did you hear what she said? And it's not just one person this time, it's a bunch of people, bunch of cackling birds. Like, cheap, 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 cheap. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. And then the other one, cheap, 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 cheap. Yes, I heard that. And I heard this too. It's almost like a poker game. I'll I'll see your Dee Dee put down this certain person and I'll raise you a Dee Dee hurt me. You know, it's like a game. I've become a game, the Dee Dee game, Delusion Dispeller game. So guess what? As I said, it's immaterial. It doesn't matter to me. I'm still going to do my uploads. I'm still going to come on once in a while and do my live streams. Why? Because it's fun once in a while to do that. Not because it makes a hill of beans a difference in my life. These are like grown people acting like this. Grown people. By the way, it was said recently, and yeah, I'm going to bring this up because I think it's kind of humorous. It was said recently that I only talk to somebody once every few months. Try almost every day. Sometimes a couple weeks go by and I don't talk to the person, but now we pretty much talk a lot. But you can believe what you want. It's fine. I guess it does your heart better to think that I don't have friends, but you're sadly mistaken because guess what? I'm a good person. I'm a friendly person. I'm a kind person. In spite of how I was painted, I never was anything that was said about me. Did I get upset because it was true? No. I got upset because it was ridiculous. You were saying stuff that was like, "Oh my God, how could you say that about me?" But then again, I was looking at this as a big part of my life at the time, and I've stepped away largely. I spend my days working and spending time with family and hanging out with my friend, going out to eat and stuff. I'm not on here. Yeah, once in a while I watch channels. I do. I'm a lurker like everybody else. And as somebody said the other day in a room, we all do it. We all lurk. Come on. We all pop into things to see what's going on. We do. And we're lying if we say we don't. I agree with you on that one. That's true. I'm not going to deny that I lurk in channels. I'm not a liar. Well, that's the other thing. She lies all the time. She lies. No, I don't. And I do want to say this, because it was said that I lied about when I was approached about a certain question. I didn't lie, but that's not the way I see things. Okay? Because in order to see somebody as changed and grown, you have to see them through new eyes. You can't see them through the old eyes. And if they're not doing a certain thing that they did, they're not that person anymore. As I said, like that sign up there says, old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. So, in order to marry somebody that had a bad situation in the past, you have to look at them through new eyes. So, how does she do that? How did she marry him? I love him. That's how I married him. I saw him through new eyes. I saw him as a person that was never given a chance in life, which he wasn't. You haven't met his family. You don't know what kind of people they were, and they're good, awesome, honest people. They are. But they didn't know what was going on with him to step in and stop it. So you can't blame them either. Well, you can and you will, but I mean, you can't legitimately blame them. But none of you lived my life. So to say, well, she's this or she's that, that's your conjecture. That doesn't make it true. And I'm not going to live my life thinking, oh God, they don't like me because they said this and that, then I must be a terrible person. No, because I'm not a terrible person. I have a real life. And people that know me in real life like me. So sorry you don't, I guess. Sorry, not sorry. I am who I am. I'm going to be who I am. So I'm not going to hang my head in shame because I have nothing to be ashamed about. Had I done the things that you accused me of in the text, heck yeah. I should be ashamed if I did any of those things, but I didn't. So you guys made up a lot of conjectures and a lot of assumptions and stuff, but none of it was true. It was based on facts. It was based on truths, but it was not completely true. It was embellishments. It was creativity. And you came up with some real creative things. Like, we have kids in our basement and a dungeon with their bones. What? Really? We don't even have a basement, guys. We don't have a basement. And I would never harm a kid if my life depended on it. I raised 4 beautiful daughters. I wasn't the perfect mother, but never would I harm a kid or anybody unless they were harming me first, maybe in self-defense. But dead kids' bones in my basement? What? Come on. Seriously? Ugh. Anyway, that was the craziest thing I heard. I'm trying to think of all the other stuff I heard. I went back and watched the whole video. I did. I watched all the videos again because they're still up on that channel. So I just watched it and shook my head. And sometimes I shout at the screen, no, that's not true. No, that's not. No, that's a lie. But then I thought about it. Why am I doing this? I already know what's true, what's not. If you guys want to believe a bunch of malarkey, then I guess, that's your right. You can believe what you want. I'm glad you came to the surface, Angela. Lots of people are starting to. I got a phone call yesterday from somebody that had been a longtime friend and actually kind of in a way joined in the fray, if you will, and felt bad about it and apologized to me. So that was very nice. Yeah. Well, when somebody is very convincing and has honed their manipulations to a skill and a fine skill, and they're very, very good at it, that person is better at it than anybody I've ever met. All of the people of my past, the narcissistic mentors, the narcissistic borderline friends in the past, and I'm talking like early 1900 something to 2000, whatever. They didn't compare to this person. They are very crafty. They're very crafty. Um, yeah, I'm gonna say your name actually because you say mine all the time. I don't know whether to say Pandora or Michelle. I'm not sure, but and you could try to report my video too. By the way, it doesn't do any good. It really doesn't. And I'm giving an opinion, and you've given many on me. And your videos don't get taken down, so I'm guessing mine won't either. And if it does, who cares? It doesn't matter. But Michelle, you could be a good person. You're an excellent mediator. I've said that to you many times before. I've seen you mediate like nobody I've ever seen. You can take two people that are fighting and calm them right down and bring them to a place of friendship. That's a powerful thing. You could be using your power and your ability to help people on this planet instead of night after night, day after day, tearing people down. Not so much me anymore. You don't really say a whole lot about me. You already had that moment. You went to your whole lash out point of Dee Dee did this and Dee Dee did that. And she was never a friend and blah, blah, blah. No, Michelle, you were not the friend to me. You don't take somebody and put them in a position where some meanie comes along and wants to tear them apart. And I want to see if she can get up and stand up to him. I want to see if I can admire her some more and get her up on a panel so that she can stand up to this big bully and I can be proud of her. I didn't need you to be proud of me. I don't need anything from you. I really don't need anything from anybody else, but God in his wonderful, wonderful goodness blesses me with true friends, blesses me with people that stand by me because they know who I really am. And guess what? If I'm really not who I really am and you believe in a God, then you know he'll get me in the end. So you can just rest on that. Or you know that fate will get me on this planet. Either way, you can take comfort in that if I am really a hypocrite and all things I'm saying are lies, I'm going to get my comeuppance. I'm going to get my revenge on me. And maybe you think the groypers of the world are the ones to do it. Okay. Still, in the end, I'm going to stand before God, or I'm just not going to stand at all, and it'll all be over. But while I'm on this planet, I'm going to have a voice, and you're not going to shut my voice up. You're not. And if you do shut my voice up, I still have an inner voice, and that never stops talking to me. So I win either way. I don't care. So no, you haven't been a true friend to me. You're the type of friend that can tell me one thing on a phone. I don't care. Give her a link, whatever. You can talk to me on the phone and act like you're my friend 1 minute, and the next minute stab me. That's the kind of friend you are. Unfortunately, I hope you don't do that in real life because you won't have friends for long. Because that's not how you treat people that you say are your friends. And you don't set them up on a pedestal to not to adore them, but to see them stand up for themselves. That's not a friend. I've told you this before when you did this to somebody else that you claimed was a friend. You honor your friends. You cover your friends. When someone's attacking your friends, you jump in there and say, no, I know Dee Dee. She's not like that. I've known her for almost 3 years. You're wrong. That's not true. Or you take me aside and you say, hey, is this true? You never asked me, is this true? What you said was, they're saying this, get up there and defend yourself. That's like saying to Jesus, you're the Son of Man, come off the cross. Prove to them that you are who you say you are. No, I don't play that game. So I didn't get up on that podium, on that panel, because I didn't have to. I have nothing to prove. But that's not how a friend treats a friend, even an online friend. You don't say, hey, get up here so I can watch this guy has his fun with you and I can see if you two can fight it out. That's what your channel's about. Have fun with that. That's just like every other crazy drama channel on here. And if that's what you want your channel to be, then okay, go ahead. It's not what my channel's going to be. And I'm not going to treat a friend like that because that's not a friend. And all those things you said about me, how I turned on you and you're the victim, nope. Maybe in your mind, maybe that's what your mind tells you, but you were never the victim. And you're not now. And you got all your friends, great friends you have. Really. Okay. I guess if you want to befriend people that go against the things of God, I don't want those kind of friends. And I probably wouldn't have stayed friends with you because you hang out with those kind of people. Because I don't want to spend my time with people like that tear down other people. That's how they spend their days. You know, interestingly enough, I had a friend that was a pagan like years ago. She's not my friend anymore. We don't really have a lot in common. But she would never join a group of people to tear other people down because guess what pagans believe? Pagans believe, and it harm none, do as thou wilt. Satanists believe that too, actually. So a pagan wouldn't even join in a panel tearing somebody down. They wouldn't, because they're all about goodness and nature and crystals and herbs and things that help people. Even a witch or a pagan, a true witch or pagan, does not believe in harming people. I know this for a fact because I know a bunch of them. Believe it or not, I know lots of pagans and lots of people that would say they're Wiccan. And not one of them would be okay with what's going on YouTube. They would not join in it. They would tell you, no, that's not our beliefs at all. That's very contrary to our beliefs because we believe that what you put into the universe, you get back. So interestingly enough, it's not just Christians that believe that. So if you're hanging out with somebody that is pagan or Wiccan and they're doing that, then they're not even being true to their own beliefs. Thought about that for a while. It's an interesting thought. Anyway. Oh, I just realized I'm totally on the wrong channel here. Hold on a minute. How did I end up on here? That's what happens when you share computers, I guess. Well, and they know it, but do they live it is the question, you know. And we don't all, you know, live according to our truth. We don't. But, you know, I'm done tiptoeing around the tulips and not saying people's names because they say my name on a regular basis. Even my real name, Laura. I hear that come up all the time. Well, Laura this, Laura that. They type in text Laura. Yeah, that's my name, Laura. That's true. I thought it was really interesting when Perplexed started being called by her name. And I was like, oh, that's my name too. Interesting. So we have Perplexed over here. That's a wild woman. And we have me that's whoever I am. I don't know. Depending on the day or the night or the live stream, whatever you paint me as. I don't know. I am just who I am. And then yes, my name is Laura. Congratulations. You know my name now. And I once told the Groyper people, go ahead and dig out my past and find stuff on me. The only thing you found was Missy, who was a client who never told me what happened with her, so I couldn't do anything about it. And was I kind of aloof back then and not really paying attention? Yes, I was kind of dissociated during that time. I was in a state of shock, most likely, because I had married a guy that didn't turn out to be anything like what I thought he was. And I started seeing weird stuff like how he would steal money out of my college account and go spend it on drugs. and how he would take my daughter's toys. And when I said, you shouldn't take that, that's my daughter's, he would say, oh, she's got other ones. She won't miss it. Like immature stuff that you wouldn't hear an adult 50-something-year-old man say. So I was already planning to leave my marriage. I just didn't know how because it costs money to divorce somebody. So that's what, Missy, what you came upon, the background of all of that, was somebody that I didn't trust. He wasn't somebody that was playing with a full deck. He wasn't normal in his mind. He never was. And it was starting to come to the point where I was done. I was just done and I didn't know how to get out. But I was trying to make the best of a really bad situation. And when you came to my house, I didn't feel like you were connecting with me. You weren't. You were emotionally scarred. You still are scarred. And I hope you're getting help for that. But I did care about you. I do care about you. And I don't know why you feel like I don't care about you. You too, Angela. But I do care about you. And I tried to reach out to you. I called your workplace trying to find out what on earth happened that you couldn't talk about. And you told somebody to tell me you didn't even work there. Truth. I did reach out to you. I did try to find out what happened. And I gave up because I couldn't get a hold of you. You wouldn't answer your phone. You told people at work to say you didn't work there. And I remember that like it was yesterday. So there was no way to help you. There was no way to find out what happened until you would tell me. And I don't remember when you emailed me if you told me even then what happened. You may have, you may not have. I just don't remember. Short-term memory thing. And I'm sorry it happened. I'm very sorry it happened to you. I'm sorry it happened to the lady at the church. I'm sorry it allegedly happened to the little girl. People said I said that the girl deserved it or something like that, or that she went along with it. Till the day I die, I will believe that that 14-year-old girl was not your typical 14-year-old girl. She was already planning a threesome over the phone on a bridge with my daughter and her friend at my daughter's slumber party. What 14-year-old that's a normal 14-year-old does that? The guy was in his 20s, okay? She lived with her grandmother. Obviously, I'm guessing not very supervised. So when somebody comes to me and says, well, I can't come and play with your daughter because your husband touched me in a bad way, the first reaction is, you were planning a threesome with my daughter and her friend. Do I believe you? You're a girl that has some real bad, deep-seated problems. I think you need to talk to your therapist. That was what I told her. Truth. Was it just that I didn't believe her and didn't do anything about it? No, because very shortly after that, I called the girl back and I said, you know what? I can't prove if it happened or not. I'm going to choose to believe you and I'll report it. Pretty sure I called the police at that point, but somebody had already called them. The girl's grandmother had called them. 2 days later, my husband gets arrested. So that's the truth of that situation. You can embellish it to be whatever you want. Oh, him and her lured people there. They lured Missy there. They lured that girl there. No, we didn't. No, we didn't lure anybody. Missy came because Missy was a client and I thought it would be fun to just meet on a personal basis and be friends. Because we used to talk for hours on the phone, hours. And I enjoyed Missy's company and she enjoyed mine and we had a lot of laughs. So I thought we'd just have a fun day together. Well, when she came, she was so emotionally distraught and depressed that she just really didn't connect real well with us. And I didn't really know what to do. So I don't remember all of what we did. I know Amber was here at the time. And we hung out and we talked and stuff like that. And we took a walk. I remember we took a walk down the street and back. And I think she was telling me more about some of her past stuff that had happened. And she's been horridly abused. She didn't lie about that. She had been horridly abused. I believe her 100% about that. And I didn't know what to do to help her. So I referred her to a therapist. And no, I did not like her therapist. To this day, I don't like that therapist. I would never refer anybody to that therapist in a zillion years. So that's the truth of the matter, yes. And where was I going with this? I cared about everyone that my ex-husband allegedly tried to get with in any way, shape, or form. I talked to the lady at church, confronted her, and she told me the truth of what happened. They were sitting out on a bench. We were sitting in a church service, and all of a sudden, my ex-husband decided he didn't want to be in what?
My computer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was mine for some reason. That's why it was on your thing. Switch back to the account. My bad. Sorry. Yeah, of course. You can definitely ask me questions. Please do. Please do. Anyway, I talked to the lady at church while you're getting your questions ready. And I said, "What happened with my husband?" And she said, "Well, we were sitting on the bench during the service and we were smoking our cigarette. We were having a smoke break. And he all of a sudden put his arm around me and said that he liked me. And he tried to kiss me. And I'm married. So I backed away. I didn't want him to kiss me." I'm like, okay. And I have to take a very diplomatic approach when this stuff is being told because you live a life kind of secluded like I did, where this stuff only happened like on TV. It didn't happen to you. And it's happening like right before your eyes and ears, and you're watching this unfold. You're like, whoa, okay. So then what happened? And you're trying to be very diplomatic and factual. And she's like, well, I didn't kiss him. I said, okay, well, thank you for that. She goes, so you're his wife? I said, yeah. Oh, nice to meet you. This lady was simple. Like I said, she had some mental problems. The pastor told me that before I talked to her. He said, be very gentle. She's on a lot of medicine and she's got mental issues. Okay, no problem. I know how to do that. She's like, oh, you're a wonderful person. You're going to visit him at the jail today? Yeah, because he's still my husband right now and I want to find out what happened. I have questions, She's, well, that's wonderful that you're going to visit him. I don't know many wives that would do that. You must be a wonderful wife. He's so blessed to have you, and that kind of thing. Well, thank you. But I was trying to be very diplomatic and stay with the topic. So what ended up happening was, I guess he tried to kiss her, and she told him she was married. He said, "That's okay. I am too, but I'm leaving my wife, or I'm divorcing. She's divorcing me." I think is the way he put it. We're getting divorced because it's not working out with us, and it's just I'm ready to move on. And if you're interested in me, let's hook up. That kind of thing. Let's get the hookup because we're getting divorced. No, unbeknownst to me, I didn't know there were any problems like that. Not to the extent where he was thinking that we were getting divorced. Okay, maybe Joan of Arc, you can ask your questions anytime you want. Right, I got you, Miller. And that happens with autistic people. And I don't know that my ex was not autistic. I don't think he was ever diagnosed that way, but he definitely had learning disabilities. There was no doubt about that. So anyway, I continued my conversation with her and she's like, you want to help me? I'm getting ready to, have lunch and you can help prepare for the lunch and you can stay and have lunch. So I ate lunch at the church and sat and talked to this lady, which I didn't get a whole lot out of her other than he tried to lean over and kiss her and she said no. And he said we were getting divorced. Several days later, a friend of ours, my ex and I, came to the house and we're sitting in the living room and he says, to his friend, he goes, well, I know that maybe at some point we'll be divorced. And I'm sitting there thinking, what? Are we having problems I don't know about? Because I think we're pretty happy. What do you mean? Other than he was kind of crazy in the head. He says to me, honey, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. He goes, if we get divorced, it's like 50-50, right? You get half the stuff, I get half the stuff. I said, why are you even talking about that? I'm not saying we will. I'm just saying if we get divorced, it's 50-50 in Illinois, right? I said, I have no idea. So he asks his friend. Yeah, she bought pizza for everyone. That's true. She did. She's a very kind-hearted person. Missy's a wonderful person. In spite of everything she's gone through, she's a very good person. And like I said, she told the truth. She didn't lie about anything. Those were the facts. And the facts were that I didn't know what was happening with my ex and her. Not to that extent. I didn't really know he did anything to her till way later. Because I would have probably at least thought of doing something. I don't know. My head was not where it is now back then. I was very immature. And when I came to realize that I was not being the kind of life coach I felt I should be, I stopped life coaching. I haven't life coached in years. So, and sometimes people say, well, she's calling herself a life coach. It's probably because it's on social media somewhere out there and I haven't figured out where it is to take it down. But I took it off of my email. It used to say life coach, now it says life skills coach. Because that's more like what I do. I help people if they have goals and stuff. I help them achieve their goals. It's not so much I want to hear all your problems, let me fix them. No, that's not me. I don't have the patience to deal with that. I have enough to deal with, working my job, taking care of my family, and that kind of thing. So I'm not a counselor. And I've said that many, many times. I've never hidden anything like that or posed to be a life coach that I'm not, because I don't like anything to do with life coaching personally. I'm not that. So, yeah. Anyway, was that the only question you have? You can ask me whatever. The thing is, everybody acts like I was hiding all this stuff. That's what got me. It was like, I'm not hiding anything. I never hid anything from you. Never. I'm trying to get rid of this shadow, by the way, on my face. It's driving me crazy. No, there was nothing hidden. Oh, well, that's an easy answer. Even in my first marriage, if people wanted to pay for us to go out to eat or stuff, we would let them. I still let people send me donations or help me out if they want to. I was taught in church, don't ever rob anybody of a blessing. If somebody wants to bless you, let them bless you. In fact, people would even say that to people. Don't rob me of my blessing. Let me do this for you. So if somebody wants to pay for me to go out to eat, by all means. My friend does that all the time. Sometimes I've paid for people to go out to eat. It just depends. And at the time, we were very poor, I'm pretty sure. Or at least he probably spent the money we had, so I didn't have any. And she probably didn't want to eat our food, most likely. And I don't remember what I was even eating back then. It was a long time ago. You're talking about 2000. Gosh, Carol and I were talking about this the other day. She's like, Mom, that was like years ago. I was married to my ex from 2011 to 2013. So you're talking 2012. How many years ago was that? 7 years ago. I don't remember what I did 7 years ago, only in bits and pieces, like the important points, but not what I ate or why we ate what we ate. We probably all just like pizza. And I got excited back then when I heard the word pizza anyway, so yeah. You have to understand, again, he was learning disabled. So it wasn't like the typical husband-wife relationship where the husband's like, oh, I'll buy us all a pizza. He didn't think like that at all. And I learned not to think like that. I was married to somebody that was learning disabled. When you marry somebody, whether you want to admit it or not, you become somewhat like that person. So as much as he had a simple mind, it was starting to simplify my mind. So I wasn't thinking logically like, well, gee, my husband should pay the bill for the pizza. And Missy would tell you what I was like back then. I was very ditzy. I was very absent-minded. I wasn't focused clearly on much of anything. I wanted to help her, yes, and I tried, but I didn't know what else to do, so I referred her, which in therapy, psychology training, if you will, they tell you if you cannot help a client, you refer them elsewhere. All right, please change that name. That's really disgusting. I don't want that name in here. And I don't know how to get rid of that name in my room, but that's really repulsive. Please go and change that name if you're going to be in here. I know you don't like Pandora, but I still don't want you using that name about her or anybody else. That's nasty. Honestly, on a logical level, I want to say, how do you know what it smells like? Have you been there? You're not married to her. You're not with her. Don't say that kind of stuff. We probably didn't have any food in the house because my ex-husband liked to spend money and food stamps that we didn't need to be spending. He was learning disabled. She probably was right about that. I don't honestly remember, but I told you, she told the truth. She didn't lie about anything. I heard her whole message. I sat and listened to it several times. I'm like, yep, that did happen. Yep, that's right. That's true. I wouldn't call her a liar for a split second because she's not. She's not a liar at all. And I can totally understand why she was scared because I would have been scared too. Definitely. And I'm not sure I would have told anybody what happened either. The best thing to do was just to leave and put it in the past and pretend it didn't happen. When you've been that abused all your life and something like that happens to you again, no, you don't talk about it. You don't, you want to just ignore it, go back to work and pretend it didn't happen because it's hurtful, it's painful, and it's scary. Can't blame her for that at all. Wouldn't blame her for that at all, ever. I don't blame her for anything she said. She told her story, and I'm glad Richard gave her a platform. And Richard, again, I commend you. You did an excellent job. You're a really, really good interviewer. And I think, again, just like Pandora, you can use your skills and your power for good if you want to, instead of using it to go and save the world from people that you, for some reason, think are awful people or keep secrets that they don't keep. But yeah, I've kept quiet long enough. I'm done. That's not me. I don't not stick up for myself when I'm not wrong about something, and I'm going to speak. Because as I said, this is immaterial, all this garbage. So I'm going to say what I have to say. Yeah, I got my Canada shirt on. I slept in it. It's kind of like a night shirt for me, so. I know why I thought that was my computer. I left my computer in the bedroom, that's why. So now I'm back to not seeing comments again. Hold on. If you said anything. I don't see anything. Okay. Was that the only questions you have, maybe, Joan? Yeah, but Miller, you said that God even forgives criminals. So shouldn't I forgive him? Not saying he's a criminal. I don't know his past, but or his present really. But shouldn't I forgive even him then? Shouldn't I forgive the Groypers? And didn't Corey ten Boom forgive the Nazis when they tortured and killed family and friends? Oh, I don't know. I mean, he might use a voice changer. I have no idea. He's actually pretty funny most of the time when he's not being inappropriate. Oh, well, actually, Miller, the Bible says, if you believe the Bible too, I'm guessing you do. You said you read it 4 times. The Bible says if we don't forgive others, he cannot forgive us. And the Bible says that we need to forgive others so he can forgive us. So I'm not sure I agree with you on that. I think it is our job to forgive. I'm pretty sure that's what my Bible says anyway. And he even says stuff about how can you be good to people just because they're good to you. Anybody can do that. You're supposed to forgive the enemy. You're supposed to forgive those who persecute you and treat you bad. Doesn't mean you got to be best friends with them, but forgive them. Don't hold their charge against them, their sin against them. I know the Bible really well, guys. I do. I'm actually a 3-time ordained minister, and no, that's not a lie. I've been ordained by 3 ministers. Hi, guys. Say hi, guys. Say I'm Momo. And the Coke. So, yeah, we are supposed to forgive. That's what I believe. That's what the Bible says to do. And he says, what we forgive on earth, what we bind on earth will be bound in heaven. What we loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. So, yeah, it's our job to forgive. And I want to make this a really long video because I want to give you guys lots of material tonight for your video, since you can't come up with much on your own that's worth listening to, in my opinion. Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying. Well, pure evil will reign on the earth because Satan is given a certain amount of time here, I believe, and then his time is up. And him and all his followers will be thrown into hell, and hell will be thrown into the lake of fire. If you believe the Bible, that's what it says. And even if not, like I said, then it'll all be over one day and lights out, and none of this will matter because you're not taking any of it with you. Right, go, right. Just live like a cat, a simple life. Come and go, poop and pee, eat your food, use the litter box, and sleep. The life of a cat. They're happy about it. Look at that smile. They're quite happy on how they live. They have not a care in the world. They don't care what anybody says about them. If you like them, you hate them, doesn't matter. As long as they got a warm shoulder to lay on, they're happy creatures. What else maybe, Joan? Got other questions? Because you know I'll answer you honestly if you know me at all. I don't embellish. I don't add. I don't have to. I'll answer to the best of my ability to what I remember how it happened. This cat needs to be trimmed. We need to get these mats off of you, Carrot Kitty. We need to take you to the vet and get you trimmed, or a groomer. God wants us to fight them. I don't really sense that from God. He's not telling me to fight anybody, Miller. He's really not. If anything, he told me hold my peace and let him fight my battle. But now he's telling me to speak up. So I'm speaking up because he wants everybody to know I believe that all this garbage on here is futile. There's no point to it. How does that make you feel good, tearing down other people? How do you look at yourself in the mirror each day and realize you just destroyed somebody's reputation and then go to church on Sunday? I don't know. I guess you have a way to do that. I don't. Oh, okay. Maybe Joan, that's interesting. Well, I'm glad you fought death and won. That's good. That's very good. I've escaped near-death experiences for sure. And so have my children. God is good. He's watched over them all their lives. Oh, okay. Well, even in the Bible, God said, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. And even David, King David said, God, haven't I hated all my enemies? Yea, I have hated them with the perfect hatred. I just don't feel hate towards anybody. If anything, I feel pity. Because anybody that has to go around year after year after year, making up lies, creating stories, embellishing the truth, tearing people down, because that's how they like to live their life, that's sad. That's very sad. I can't imagine being that person or being like that. I don't hate them. I feel sorry for them. Will I ever be close to them again like I was? No. Mm-mm. No, I'd say 3 strikes, you're out. And actually, there's been way more than 3 strikes. And people warned me, do not get back in a relationship with certain people. And I didn't listen. And I did. And I got bitten on the butt again. But you know what? It's not going to happen again. And whether they were right or I was right or who was wrong, it's not going to happen. So you don't have to worry about it ever happening again. Would I be kind to you and nice to you and say hi? Yeah, probably. But Will I ever sit on the phone and talk to you and believe all the stuff that you make up? Because you do, you make up a lot. No, I won't, because I know better now. And to know better is to do better. Because if you know better and you don't do better, then yeah, you're kind of deceiving yourself. Oh, yeah, I got you, Miller. I got you. Well, that's part of having a personal relationship with God. He speaks to me like in a voice. So I don't just follow the Bible, I follow the voice of God. Hence why I said I was an oracle, which, by the way, oracle is another word for prophet. And I don't mean I can tell the future. Sometimes God will tell me something to tell somebody that's about to happen. Yeah. It's not just fortune tellers and prognosticators and psychics that do that, guys. The original ability to do that came from God. Those are counterfeits. And they get their power either from their head, the world, or the devil. Plain and simple. Or just guessing. They might just guess. Do I go around telling people's futures? No, I don't. But if I became close to somebody and God said, I want you to tell her this or him this, I would do it. Doesn't happen very often, but I definitely can do it. And my spiritual mom does it on a regular basis and is very accurate. And no, she is not a psychic. She's a prophetess. And you can or can't believe in that. I really don't care. That's my belief. And it's worked for me. So that's how it is. I am not a conservative Christian, y'all. That's what people don't understand. I do not believe in the whole singing hymns, kneeling down, standing up, making sacraments. And no, I'm not Catholic. I guess you'd call me non denominational, Messianic Jewish, born again Christian, charismatic, Pentecostal. That's where I lean. Okay. So my beliefs are going to seem a little wild to people that are more conservative, like Catholics and Baptists and Methodists, Lutherans. It's going to seem like I'm wackadoodle, and I'm okay with that. I don't care. I have fun with my beliefs. And it's very intriguing to me to believe the way I do because it gives me guidance in life. I'm not saying conservatives don't hear from God or don't have a relationship with God. They do. But you don't have the relationship with God I have. My relationship with God is my relationship. And oh, I do have to address this because now is my time because I'm throwing caution to the wind, as they say, because I really don't care anymore. I haven't been on here. I've stepped away for the most part, and I'm not really entrenched in the whole YouTube baloney. So now I'm feeling very confident to say what I have to say, and I'm going to. It was said that my religion almost destroyed somebody. No, and that I tried to force somebody to believe something. No, I didn't. You came to me and asked me questions. I didn't try to force you to believe anything. You came to me for prayer. You said, Dee Dee, what does this mean? Dee Dee, what does that mean? Dee Dee, explain this to me. And I did. So then you twist it around and say that my religion tried to control you and tried to destroy you? Really? When did that happen? Oh, yeah, when someone wanted to get me on a panel and I wouldn't go. So, yeah, let's punish her now by lying. Okay, whatever. Do your thing. You will anyway. But no, my religion didn't do anything to you. You shared your beliefs with me. You shared a video with me. Remember that? You told me never to let anybody see it, and I never did. You told me stuff about your family. You told me never to say anything, and I never have. How much of what I told you have you told people? Oh, yeah, pretty much all of it. Not only have you told people, you've made videos about it, and you continue to. So, whatever, that's how you roll. I get it. That's how you've lived your life, I guess, hurting people because you feel so insecure and insignificant in yourself that you have to tear other people down. How's that working for you? Are you feeling better now? You feeling good about yourself? I'm guessing not, because you're still doing it. Oh, well, that was my opinion. So, I'm sure I didn't say you had autism. I might have said you look like you have autism, or maybe you have autism. What I probably said was, gee, do you think maybe he is autistic? So stop picking on him. Because if somebody has a mental or a brain disorder, is it really fair to put them through the garbage we go through on YouTube? Really not. You have to consider the fact that somebody has a disability or a problem. I don't know if you do or don't, Miller. I don't know you. But the way you were acting, filming yourself in a bathtub, that's not exactly normal behavior. So I was probably making my own opinion about it and saying, look, this guy has some kind of problems. So why are you targeting him? I was being protective of you, is what I was doing, Miller, actually. And I would do that for anybody, except people that are just vindictive and mean. I would say, well, how's that working for you? Are you feeling better about yourself now, tearing people down, spending every day and every night making video after video targeting this person, then that? First, it's my turn. Then it's Dana's turn. Then it's Miller's turn. Then it's KCL's turn. And anybody else. Just take a pick. I swear they have like a wheel that they spin, and okay, it landed on Dee Dee. It's her turn. We're gonna pick on her tonight. Okay, here's KCL that landed on him. It's his turn. Why? Why? Is that making you income, and is it making you feel happy? Is it building your self-worth? Is it letting you feel like a person that did good in the earth? I don't get that. I don't. Oh, wait, I forgot. I found out the reason why. It's fun. It's fun. Well, I think Spoofer's talking to them again, so who knows? I don't find that fun, tearing people down and knowing that you're hurting somebody. Or if you don't have empathy, then you don't care that you're hurting somebody because you can't feel what they might be feeling. But what a sad way to live your life. Find a hobby. Talk to your pastor. Do something other than that. Or don't, whatever. I mean, I don't get it. I don't want to get it. Just like Dana said on her recent video. Why do you do that? Why did YouTube become a place to just tear people to shreds and enjoy it? Laugh while you're doing it. Mock them. Have fun with it. What? Like I said, even the Wiccans don't do that. They would frown on something like that, very much so. I don't know. Life is short, guys. You know, we got COVID going on that's taking people out in the droves, people that are close to us. Well, I don't know. Maybe some people can't get a job. Maybe they're disabled. I don't know. I don't know people up close and personal on here. I only know names, faces, voices, and typing text. This is not, I won't say it's not reality, but it's not like reality where you can sit down with somebody and have tea at an actual physical restaurant, where you're living in an actual realm where it's cold and it's warm and it's, you can touch things near you. You can pet your cat. You know, it's a screen. It's speakers, it's a microphone. And yes, they're real people that live real lives. And that's why I said, why live your life this way? What does this bring you? Does it bring you joy to watch the person you called a friend be shredded in front of everybody and lied about? When you're sitting there and you, above all people, know the truth. You know the truth. You're not a dummy. Very intelligent. You know the truth, and you know the truth. Well, and I don't know much about George Senda. He's a different type of person. He's self-entertaining. That's the way I would describe him. Um, this really opened my eyes. You know, even in the media, we tear down celebrities, we mock people, we parody people and stuff like that. And, you know, we have fun with it. But there's a line, and that line is crossed a lot on here. And I heard something yesterday. I told you I lurk, and everybody knows I lurk. They don't know when I lurk, but I do lurk. Because it's my right. And as Tabitha says, this lady that's a cook and does all kinds of stuff on YouTube, that's your business. That's my business. to lurk if I want to lurk. Everybody does it. Not everybody, but a lot of people do. And I heard them say, well, they think this room is bad. They should see what other rooms do. Does that make you feel better? Our room isn't as bad as yours. It's bad, but it's not as bad. Come on, really? Wow. Is there a level of badness that's okay with you? Apparently there is. It's okay that we cuss and swear and we tear down people. We're not as bad as that person over there because they're threatening to kill people. And well, there's been people in your room that threaten to kill people. I recently heard somebody say they like a certain celebrity because the way he looks at you, it looks like he's going to rip your head off and then hump your dead corpse. That's real godly behavior. And yeah, people that claim to be godly are hanging out with that person that talks like that. Are you proud? You think God's happy about that? I'm guessing not. But again, this is YouTube. This is social media. This is not real life. This is not what matters. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. When the lights go out and your roll is called up yonder, will you be there is the question. And when you stand before God, if you believe you will, is he going to say, well done, good and faithful servant? I love the way you took my servant and ripped her a new one and exposed all of the stuff you said she did in her past that was all lies. And you let people create all kinds of dialogue around it and turn against her. Good job. Come on into my kingdom. Think he's going to say that? I don't think so. I highly doubt it. And if you don't believe in him and you believe you're just going to go into the ground, well, then you'll have had your day. You'll have had your fun and it'll be all over and it won't matter either way. So either way, it doesn't matter, except if there is a God in heaven and you do believe that you'll answer to him, you better think real carefully and real hard as to whether you can stand in his presence and be let into his kingdom based on your behaviors now. And actually, at one point, you said on your own channel, well, this is not what I want my channel to be about. This is not what my life is about. I'm a good person and I don't do this kind of stuff. And I looked into your past and I know what you are and I'm not comfortable with it. And only the next day or so, this person was up on your panel tearing people apart and you were okay with it. How's that work? That makes no sense. And guess what? That's double-mindedness. And my Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And it also says that we shouldn't be blown about by every wind of doctrine. We're always told to stay on the straight and narrow and keep on going forward, not look to the right or the left. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going straight on the narrow road that few find. Very few find it. I don't have very many people on the narrow road with me right now. Maybe 15, 20 people. And I'm okay with that. We'll stay on the narrow road. You go on your wide road of debauchery and whatever. By the way, I'm interested. Somebody said, I said something about Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't remember saying that. I'd like to know what context I used that in. Because I forget things sometimes. But yeah, there is debauchery and sin afoot. And there's a lot of real bad behaviors. And I'm done pussyfooting around and not saying things like they are. And they are what they are. You guys do it. You mention my name all the time. You call me out on stuff all the time. And I always just sit quiet and say nothing and shake my head and say, yeah, okay, well, believe what you want. And you can believe what you want. I don't care. It doesn't affect me one iota in my real life. But you really need to look at your own lives. And if you don't love God and you don't go to church and you don't have a relationship with God and you weren't raised in a church or with religion, as you guys like to call it, then none of what I'm saying matters to you anyway. So you can hit the X or not. Doesn't matter. It's not going to matter after. But if you do claim to be a Christian and you were raised as a good, godly person, then what are you doing with your life? And what have you been doing for years with your life? And is it really helping you feel better about yourself and your circumstances? Why not make some changes to be a better person instead of continuing on the path of insanity, doing the same thing you've always done and expecting different results? Just a thought. Take it or leave it, doesn't matter. Or make your videos about me. That's okay. I may or may not hear you talking about me. Who knows? It doesn't matter. I'm not on here for a popularity contest. I never have been on here for that. Oh well, Miller. It'll be your turn in a few days. I think it might be Dana's turn by now. I'm not sure which one they'll pick on next. Like I said, it's like a little wheel I think they spin. Not literally. I'm just being facetious, but that's what it feels like. Whose turn is it now to be the topic of conversation so we can destroy? You can only say so much about a person, then you got to start lying and adding things in. That's the truth of the matter. So let's see. I don't know. My beliefs have been torn at. My past life coaching has been degraded. My relationships with people on here have been explored. My house has been explored too. Hey, Lee. Yeah, Lee's one of the 20. She's my friend. Let's see what else. Oh, donations. That's been ridiculed. Oh, yeah, of course. I know, Miller. I know. Many people have been told to stay away from me. I don't care. Stay away from me if you don't like me. If you're going to be mean to me, stay away from me anyway. I don't need that. I don't deserve it, frankly. I mean, I've heard on here stuff that I would never, ever hear in reality, I don't think. Ever. Because people don't act like that in my reality. They don't. They don't go around bringing up people's past things that they did from the time they were kids or talking about people's marriages. And it's just not what people do in my neck of the woods. So this is very foreign to me. But I guess on a computer, there's that anonymity. Nobody knows who you are. But even the people that I know they are, not know them, but you know what I mean. They still feel at liberty to say whatever and not have any conscience about it. It blows my mind. If I mistreat somebody, shoot, I'm on my face repenting for it and I'm trying to make it right. And the people that I've had falling out with on here, I've tried to make right in the only way I know how, and it just didn't work. So we parted ways. That's what really happened with that. And if there's a different story they're telling, then maybe I'm not understanding something. And it's possible because I don't always understand things. By the way, guys, my recent diagnosis, after quite a bit of extensive testing, I have neurological damage. So a lot of the reasons why I do what I do and I act goofy and I've made really weird videos in the past is because my brain doesn't work the way I guess a neurotypical brain works. There's some kind of wiring that's off in it. I don't understand the extent of what that means, and I wasn't told what that meant. All they would tell me was, yeah, you have some neurological deficits. They didn't even want to call it damage, they just said deficits. So I don't know what that means. So, okay, you're in my head. Something's neurologically off. How do you live? You live the only way you know how. You work a job. You love the people around you that are family and friends. You come on YouTube once in a while to have fun. And that's it. That's it. That's all you can do. You can only live with what you got. You know, this is my body, this is my brain, and it may or may not function in a good way that it should. I don't know. I'm just living the only way I know how. So there you go. As far as analyzer having a conscience, Michelle, um, I think she has one. I think she has a conscience. I believe she does. But I also believe that the need for acceptance and something going on in life is a very crucial need for her. And I'm just sad that the need is so strong that any situation is acceptable, even if it means ripping people apart. Have you guys ever seen the movie A Girl Named Sooner? It was about a little girl who was, I think, orphaned, and she went to live with this family. And she had this myna bird that was her pet. And she wanted friends so bad that they were like, let's see if the crow will fly. I think it was a crow. I don't remember. So they started throwing stones near the crow. And pretty soon they were throwing stones at the crow. And they're like, come on, Sooner, make them fly, or something like that. So she started throwing stones at the crow. And eventually the crow did not fly because it died. They stoned the bird to death on this movie. I hated that movie because of that. That's pretty much what you did, Michelle. You not only stood by while people stoned me verbally, you picked up a stone just by, yeah, there's that word again, guilty by association. You didn't stop them. You didn't step in and say, no, Dee Dee's my friend and we're getting along now. You people are mean. Why are you doing it? Not once. You sat there and laughed. That's the kind of friend you are. So do I want to be friends with you or somebody like you? I'm going to say a bad word. Hell no. No. I should have listened to my daughter. I should have listened to people that talked to me about it and stayed the heck away from you. For whatever reason you have, you need to tear people down and be accepted by whoever you can be accepted by. And then you'll turn on them too eventually if they're not super strong, because you go after the ones that can't really stand up for themselves and have a need of friends like you do. But you will never do that to me again, ever. You can tear me down in a video. You can try to go real life on me. You can send your friends to do whatever. But as I said, it's all immaterial. Because what matters to me is whatever I'm given in this world now, my job, my family, people that are precious to me. Not YouTube, not your videos. I don't care. Well, hell is a place. So hell no means hell is not going to take a place in my life. And the kind of stuff that you do to people, that's where it comes from, is the pit of hell. It's definitely not from God. And if you go to church on Sunday and then backstab people during the week, congratulations. That's called hypocrisy. That's what that's called. And you called me a hypocrite. Really. Except I've owned up to everything I've done. I've answered every question. I've been totally honest and I've been genuine. I think you're a little bit envious of that because I don't think you know how to be a genuine person for very long, because that means you might make some enemies. And I don't think you know how to handle that very well. Not without destroying the people that you think are your enemies. You have to always have a group around you. You called me a narcissist, except I don't fit any traits of that. I've been evaluated by 3 different therapists for narcissism, and I don't fit the traits. So you can call me what you want. It doesn't make it so. A narcissist does what you do. Tears people down. Yeah, I know. Me too, Miller. I'm sure at some point it'll resurface in some evil, ugly way. So you tear people down and you paint yourself to be alternately the hero, the villain, the martyr, the victim, whatever you paint yourself to be. I don't know. Depends on the given moment, I guess. Whatever works for you to be admired or scared of or whatever. I just don't fit the traits. Sorry to disappoint you. I may be a lot of things, but I don't fit NPD as a personality disorder. Am I sure of myself? Yeah, pretty much. Do I like myself? Very much. Very much so. I'm very proud of who God made me to be, and I'm always working on being more and more like Him. So if you don't like me and I'm being like Him, that means you don't like Him. Think about that a minute. I'm made in His image. The Bible says, how can you say you love God who you haven't seen, but hate your brother who you have seen? You claim to be a Christian. Oh, by the way, yeah, Michelle's a Christian. She doesn't say it much, but she goes to church and she's a Christian. Her words, not mine. And yet she has no problem with people tearing people apart. Again, how is that working for you? Are you happy now? You got your group of friends. And you also said that I didn't want you to have friends. Really? When did I say that? I don't remember that conversation. I actually said, well, you got some friends. I don't necessarily think they're the best friends, but you're happy. You know, you have friends that you wanted. I don't approve of what they do. I don't approve of their beliefs. I don't approve of how they treat people. But as long as you're doing a chat room and I'm in there and everybody's just kind of getting along, I'm fine with that. But if they start tearing people down or they start being perverted, yeah, I'm not going to be okay with that. And I wasn't okay with it. And you knew I wasn't. As for you, Mr. Salad Bowl Man, you're pretty funny. You are. You're pretty perverted and crass and rude and really vile at times with what you say. And you're okay with that. You're pretty proud of that. But you know what? You're young enough to be my son. And I'm not going to allow you to intimidate me on this planet. You're not going to. You can make every video you want. You can pull up anything in anybody's past you want. You're not going to shut. You're not going to shut me down. And if you do, I'll be okay anyways, because YouTube is not who I am. But you haven't won anything because I'm not in a contest or a game with you. That's only in your own mind. You haven't proven anything. Now, yes, some people believe everything you said or believe what other people have said about me, but guess what? That doesn't make it the truth because they believe it. The truth is the truth, and the truth stands alone. There's only one truth about any given situation. There's not, well, it could be true, or it might not be true. It either is true or it's not. There is no iffy stuff about truth. And whether somebody tries to make you look bad or not, the truth is the truth and the truth stands. Just like you, Graper. What's true about you? So you're saying, well, I post all these anti-Semitic comments and anti-Black comments on my social media, but I'm not what you're saying I am. So what's true? Are you or aren't you? I don't need to know. I'm just saying you need to ask yourself that if you want to. But the truth is the truth. You know what that truth is. I know what I assumed because I usually know that by their fruit you shall know them. And somebody that spends so much time putting certain races and people's beliefs down usually means they are a certain something. And when you were asked, you said, I don't think I am. Okay. You don't think you are. Well, then I guess you don't know what you are. Or maybe you don't consider that you are. And that's fine, whatever. Don't be or do be whatever you are or aren't. It doesn't matter to me. But I know what I am and what I'm not. I'm not a child molester, never have been, never would harm a child in that way. I've raised 4 beautiful daughters who are very successful citizens and very kind people for the most part. I have a very good relationship with 3 out of the 4 of my daughters. And the 4th one tolerates me at least, so that's something. But yeah, in the end, what matters is reality. What matters is your family. What matters is how you treat people. And if you're a kind person yourself. Or maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's how I feel. So have fun in your YouTube land. In the meanwhile, I'll be back whenever I'm back. I might still do the Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing. I don't know. But it is Wednesday, so I figured I'd come on and share some feelings and thoughts and whatever, and see who wanted to say whatever they wanted to say. All right, so it was nice talking to you, Miller. Thanks for coming in. I don't know, I don't feel like I've bashed anybody in here today. I've just spoken facts. And maybe y'all that talk against me feel like you're speaking the facts. I don't know. But the problem is you don't have the facts right. So keep speaking. See how that goes with you. And yeah, Michelle, it's not worth having every friend on the planet if it means that you have to be a mean, bad, nasty person to do it. Just saying. Think about that.